welcome to our first episode of JavaScript for Beginners. In this series, we will be diving into the fascinating world of JavaScript, one of the most popular programming languages in the world. Whether you are completely new to coding or transitioning from another language, I am glad you are here to embark on this journey with me. So first of all, we will need Google Chrome browser installed on your system or any other browser if you fascinate using Mozilla Firefox or Brave, whatever you need. But in this episode, I'm going to show you how to do the coding in Google Chrome itself. And then you can download Google Chrome by just searching on Google, saying that download Google Chrome, and then you can find it over here. And then you can press just download Chrome. That's it. And the another piece of software we need is Visual Studio Code. So you can say download VS Code in Google, and then you can find it over here. That's it. Once you press on it, you can find it over here. You just press download and then install it. It's just straightforward. Next, finish. That's it. So once you have it, for now we will just focus on using Google Chrome because in this first episode we will only cover the basics of JavaScript. What are some of the fundamental concepts of JavaScript? So let's start by writing very first JavaScript code, which is very basic. That's it. So for that, we don't even need VS Code. We just go to open any Chrome tab and then right click on it, and then you can say inspect over here. So you press inspect, you will have this particular thing. So for now, what I will do is I will click on the three buttons over here, and then this one, what it does is like it will open into a separate window. So if you do that, you can maximize it and then go to console. So in a later episode, I will explain to you what each of these tabs means. For now, we will go to console. Let me increase this font size, and then we are ready to write a program of JavaScript. So the first step is we will write console.log and then open a bracket and then put one of the like apostrophe symbol or double quotes and then type hello world exclamation in the double quotes, close the bracket. That's it. You can see the result over here immediately. That's it. This is your first like hello world program that you have in JavaScript. So basically we use this particular method for most of the time debugging, or if you want to see like which part of the code are being executed, which part is not executed. So we can kind of use it as a debugging tool, but there are other like efficient debugging tools provided by Chrome and other browsers itself. But like most of the developers use this for debugging in the sense like what debugging is like you are trying to figure out what exactly is wrong with your code is not working and you are trying to figure out what exactly is wrong with it. So developers most of the time use this particular piece of command. So like now we have written the first program. Now let's just jump into how to define a variable or use some variables. So basically what variables is, it's just simply a container for storing data values. So let's say you have so there are different ways you can define a variable. One is let, another one is const, another one is var. So var was the first one before JavaScript, like when in the beginning of stages of JavaScript, var was the first keyword you had. Then later on it went to introduce let and const. So throughout our series we will be only focusing on let and const, and in another episode I will explain to you what is the difference between let, const and var, how does it like differentiate between each of them. So in this case, let's rewrite the program, this console.hello world, into something else. So in a different manner basically. So you do let greeting equal to hello world. Okay, now you have it, and then you do console.log, same thing, but instead of typing it out directly, we just say greeting. Okay, if you do that, as you can see, the hello world is being printed in this console.log. So if we change that greeting value to be something else, like let's say hello Podcraft Studio, what happens is when you do console.log greeting now, it's actually changed. So that's it. And the difference between let and const is that once you define the const value, let's say value can't be changed, and then you type in hello. Okay, now what happens is if you do console.log, you can actually see the hello field. But if you try to modify that particular value, what happens is it will throw out an error saying that you can't do that. So basically it's saying that this is a constant variable which you can't change in the future. So this will be helpful in the case of, like, let's say you have a secret code which you don't want anyone else to like modify it. So in those scenarios, and if in your code itself, like there are certain scenarios in which the value need not to be changed, then you can use this particular const declaration method. So variables can hold different types of data. So in JavaScript we have different types of data such as number and number, string, boolean, object, and so many others. So what all of this means, like we will cover in detail as we go through the next episodes. So basically for some of the default things, like some of the smallest things, we can see if you do greeting, we have this particular value, right? So if you want to see the type, which type is it, you can press type of and then do greeting. If you do that, you can see string is there. Now let's change the value of greeting into a number. Okay, now the value we have is 2. If you do type of greeting, then you can see it's printed as number. So what I'm trying, like every time if you want to run in this particular scenario, if you want to type the code again and again, instead of typing the code multiple times, you can just press up arrow, which will give you the previously ran code. So if you press up arrow again, you can actually change the value without having to fully type the whole code. So if I change greeting to false, so this is what we call a boolean. It can only have false and true values. So if you type in greeting equal to false, now if you give, you can see the value as false. Now if you type in true, and then the value is true now. But what is the type of that particular greeting now? So if you look at the type, you can see it's boolean. So for now, these are the basic things. These are the basic types you need to only figure out. And then as we dive deeper, you can learn much more about like what are the other different data types we have in JavaScript. So in the next episode, we will delve into operators, control structures, functions, and objects. We will also start working on some mini project later on in the end of the episodes. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified of the next episode. Remember, the key to learning is consistency and practice. So keep coding, keep experimenting, and I will see you in the next episode.